My fiancé canceled our wedding 2 days before then. I found out who he was protecting. 2 days before my wedding, my fiancé looked me straight in the eyes and said, "I can't marry you." I thought he was having cold feet, but then he said something that terrified me. "Whatever you do, don't ask my mother why." We'd been together for 4 years. The venue was paid for, our invitations were sent, and my wedding dress was hanging in our bedroom. Then, without another explanation, he packed a bag and left. The next morning, I got a message from an unknown number. It said, "If you marry him, you'll regret it." I thought it was a cruel prank until they sent me a photograph of my fiancé standing beside a woman I'd never seen before. I called him, but he refused to explain, so I went straight to his mother's house. The moment she saw the photograph, she started crying. Then she whispered, "You weren't supposed to find out this way." She told me the woman was Emily, my fiancé's older sister, who everyone had believed died when she was 16. I couldn't understand how someone could be dead for 12 years and suddenly appear in a photograph. His mother finally told me Emily hadn't died. She had disappeared after witnessing a serious crime involving the family. They had faked her death because someone was threatening to kill her. Now Emily was back because she had discovered something even worse. My fiancé's father had been secretly moving stolen money through fake company accounts, and Emily had evidence. My fiancé had canceled our wedding because he was terrified the people involved would use me to get to him. Then his mother handed me an envelope. Inside was our wedding guest list. Several names were circled in red. One of them was my father. I called him immediately and asked why his name was there. He went completely silent. Then he admitted he'd known my fiancé's father for years, but swore he wasn't involved in the crime. That night, Emily contacted me herself. She told me my fiancé had known about my father's connection for months. Then she sent me another photograph. It showed my father meeting my fiancé's father in a parking garage 6 months before my engagement. I felt sick. When I confronted my dad, he finally admitted he'd helped move money through his company years earlier, but claimed he didn't know it was stolen. Then Emily told me the part nobody had told me. My fiancé had known about my father's involvement before he proposed to me. Instead of leaving me, he spent months trying to prove my father wasn't part of the larger scheme. But when he discovered someone was planning to blame my father for everything, he realized our wedding could put me directly in the middle of it. That's why he walked away. The unknown person who had been messaging me wasn't threatening me. They were warning me. Police eventually uncovered the financial scheme, and several people were arrested. My father cooperated with investigators and avoided the worst charges. Months later, my fiancé finally came back. I asked him why he couldn't trust me enough to tell me the truth. He looked at me and said, "Because if you knew everything, they could use you against me." I was still angry, but I finally understood. He hadn't canceled our wedding because he stopped loving me. He had canceled it because he thought it was the only way to keep me alive and out of his family's war. We didn't get married that year. 6 months later, he proposed again. This time, there were no secrets, no fake deaths, and no mysterious messages. And when I said yes, the first person he called wasn't his mother or his father. It was Emily. She cried when she heard the news. Then she said something I'll never forget. "This time, nobody has to disappear."